Last year, I made a video about the importance of disclosure in scientific studies and how some Republican congresspeople are fighting to be able to allow corporations to fund studies without that funding being declared as a potential conflict of interest. A lot of oil and gas companies supported this measure, and now we have a really good example of why that was. Climate change denier Wei-Hak Willie Sun is a researcher at the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics, and as such, he's one of the few high-profile scientists who asserts in his work that climate change is not due to human activity. His research claims that this is all due to changes in solar activity. So in news that really shouldn't surprise anyone at this point, Sun failed to disclose that $1 million of funding in his research. In Congress, that might still be up for debate, but in published research, it's a huge no-no. Perhaps the worst thing to come out of all of this is the attitude of Robert J. Strangeway, editor of the Journal of Atmospheric and Solar Terrestrial Physics, which has published 3 of Sun's papers in the past. He told the New York Times that we assume that when people put stuff in a paper or anywhere else, they're basically being honest. Wow, that is a terrible way to do science. The point of many scientific standards like peer review is to prevent unconscious bias from seeping in. But at this point in time, we also know that there are way too many people out there who will let other biases happily take over their research and who will manipulate data in order to suit their purposes. They may do it for ideological reasons, or they may be doing it because they get paid. Now, this isn't to suggest that that is what's happening with Sun. The whole point of disclosure of potential conflicts of interest isn't to say that this definitely means that the research is useless. It's just to say that this is something that we actually need to look out for. This person might have a very good $1 million reason to manipulate data. So let's not just assume that the stuff he's putting in his paper is perfectly legit and honest. So unfortunately, I don't expect the most deeply entrenched climate change deniers to change their mind on this. I see them the same way I see the most deeply entrenched vaccine deniers. They're not going to change their mind unless and until they're able to see the final result of their dangerous ignorance. And by that time, it's going to be too late.